Good morning children. Today we are discussing about the lesson number 12, that is freedom movement in Hyderabad state. So before going to that, how the freedom movement in Hyderabad state, particularly Nizams when ruled the Hyderabad state, how the people were exploited by the landlords, Doras, Deshmukhs and even the Nizam rulers, and all we discuss in this lesson, and how they got freedom movement, what are the reasons behind that. And before that, we are going to the keywords, meanings and explanation of this particular words. Farmans. Farmans are orders issued by rulers, especially Muslim rulers. So when the Nizams were Muslims, when the Muslims were ruling the country, ruling the Hyderabad state, so whatever the orders they issued to the people, those are called farmans. Okay. Next, Vetti, making some people to work for no wages. It is just like slavery. That means without expecting anything, voluntarily they have to do some people to work. In big landlords, Doras, landlords and Deshmukhs, whoever Patwaris and Doras, these are all under them, and they are the big landlords in their lands. These people are working without coolie, that means without any wages. It's like a slavery, and we can all call it as a bonded laborer. Bonded laborer also. That is called vetti, bonded labor. So, without expecting anything, they have to continuously work not only for that generation, for the further generations. Continuously, generation wise, they have to do work without expecting anything. That is called slavery or no wages or vetti. We can call it as vetti. Next is feudal system. The kings are under an emperor or a samrat enjoying liberty by saying to some annual tribute. So what is feudal system? People are, the kings under an emperor, a big emperor, Nizam emperor is there. Under him the kings are a samrat enjoying liberty, paying some annual tribute. That means these kings are giving some tribute to the emperor, some money and gifts are giving to the emperor, and they will be leading there, they will be occupying that land and they will be taking care of that and taking collections of taxes and all, and how they can rule, they were ruling the country. So that is called feudal system. That means hundreds of villages are controlled by a big landlord. That is called feudal system. Okay. Next is legitimate rights. What are the legitimate rights? Rights which are guaranteed by law. For example, in the constitution we have a right to religious freedom, isn't it? Legitimate rights means rights which are guaranteed by law. So law is giving a guarantee to that particular right. So for example, you take right to religious freedom. So in India, in our constitution we have written right to religious freedom. So what is this right to religious freedom? When we have a religion, we can easily, for example, I am a Hindu. I can enjoy my Hinduism and all, and happily I am living. But somebody wanted to drag me to Christianity or want to convert in the Muslim, Islam, then I have every right to go to court, and court will be giving favor towards me. That means somebody is denying our right, somebody is taking our right, then the government will not accept, the court will not accept. That is legitimate rights which are guaranteed by the law. That means always the law will be protected according to that law. Okay, that is called legitimate rights which are guaranteed by laws. Next is guerrilla squad, a group of armed people who attack all of a sudden. So Nizams were always they have this guerrilla squad and a group of armed people. Every time they will attack the people. Sometimes they will attack all of a sudden. They will come and take their belongings and all. And if they don't pay the debts and all, peasants, guerrilla squad, all of a sudden it comes and attack. This is like a terrorist activity. Even they used in a freedom fight also. Freedom fight also many people were doing against to the Nizams also. And Jagirdars. Jagirdars are owners of Jagirs, a very big land. Very big land is controlled by some people. They are called Jagirdars. Very big lands, maybe there's 100 acres or 1000 acres. They will be controlled by the Jagirdars. So owners of Jagirs. Jagir means land and Jagirdars means they are owners of that land. And representative government. What is representative government? A government which is run by the elected or nominated members. Generally in a democratic country, ours is a representative government also. We can call it as a representative government. Why we are saying it's a representative government? Because see, in adult franchise we will have a right to vote. When somebody, that means indirectly we are ruling the country. Our representatives are ruling the country. In a democratic house generally they will have elections takes place. After elections some people will be elected. People will elected some people. So people will elected some representatives and those representatives will rule the country. So that is called representative government. So it is particularly happens in democracy only, because in democracy, what is the definition for a democracy? Great 16th President of United States of America, what he said about democracy? Abraham Lincoln said democracy is for the people, democracy is of the people and for the people and by the people. So that is that government. That means we see many people are there in India. Everyone cannot rule the completely. The power will be rest with the people. Here in the democratic government, in the representative government, completely the power is rest with the people. But how rest with the people? People are, everyone cannot do that. So when everyone cannot do that, we'll represent some people, we'll elect some people as representatives, and those people will work for the government. So that is called representative government. That means indirectly people are ruling the country. So we have every right to ask them, every right to ask the government if they are doing any wrong. We have every right. But in other countries, other non-democratic countries, it is not like that. If the king is ruling the country, then no power is there for the people. Whatever he says, we have to blindly, we have to listen. But in a democratic, in a representative government, a government which is run by the elected or nominated members, whoever elected nominated members, by whom they were elected, by the people, all the people, those who are having voting right, those people will be elected, those will be elected these representatives, and these representatives on behalf of all the people, they will be working for the government. So that is called representative government. It happens only in the democracy, not in non-democratic countries like non-democratic governments like Hitler, the king ruling, aristocracy, and in the monarch. In that particular situation, it will not work out. This is only in the democratic government. So I'll give a big give a nice mind mapping, and with that also we can understand easily how it happens, Nizam state and all. Yes, children. We have another mind mapping that I will explain to you. Freedom struggle in a different positions it happened. Freedom struggle. Freedom struggle in Hyderabad state. Okay, freedom struggle in Hyderabad. In what ways we see? Daily newspapers. Establishment of Telugu medium schools. Establishment of Telugu medium schools and colleges. Establishment of libraries and reading rooms and reading rooms. Police action, merger with India, establishment of Arya Samaj, establishment of Arya Samaj, Andhra Mahasabha, AMS, Andhra Janasangam, started many organizations. So how the freedom struggle in Hyderabad? Actually, the freedom struggle, why freedom struggle in Hyderabad? In remaining places, there are in India, when the freedom fight was going on with against the British, so such a time as few princely states were there. Okay, few princely states were there. That means this is not under control by British, but they are in some other rulers, some other emperors or kings were there in Junagadh in Gujarat, Kashmir, Hyderabad with the Nizams, Karnataka with the Maratha kingdoms, like that. So these princely states, even after that also, they did not want to be, they did not want to merge in India. They wanted to be kingship want to be continued. Okay, so at such times, particularly in Hyderabad, why it happened, particularly why it is in Nizam's rule means, because before coming the Britishers, there are 400 years the Mughal rulers ruled the country. So the Mughal, after declining of the Mughal rulers were ruled the country. After Mughal rulers were declined, then immediately Nizams were occupied the Hyderabad state, and whatever Hyderabad state means, whatever the surrounding places are there, like Vanaparthi, Janagam, and some places, they are all with the along with the Hyderabad. So such places are under controlled by Nizams. Then if it is directly under controlled by the Nizams, also not there. Whoever the people, Deshmukhs, Doras, and some feudal lords were continually, they were also started ruling. And they are the responsible for the Nizams, and Nizams are responsible for the Britishers again. Like that, it is in a series wise it was going on. And at that time, particular time, majority of the people are Hindus over here. 99% people are Hindus. Even though the official language they made as a Urdu. Because in those places particularly 4 different languages were spoken, people were there. Urdu, Deccan Urdu, and Telugu, and Maratha, and Kannada. These 4 languages spoken people were there. So here what happened, but majority of the Rashtrabhasha, that means whatever official language is there, that was that became as Urdu, and they made it as Urdu. And after that, they did not give even for a religion, Hindu religion, and even the language also they did not give any recognition. So if anybody is studied in Telugu medium school up to 10th class and all, they did not give any further education as Urdu in colleges and universities. Why they have done it? Well, once, that means they did not give any importance to the Telugu people and Telugu language. So such a time many people got angry and they were stopped their education. Up to 10th class only they studied in Telugu medium, and after that they did not go for further studies. There was no chance of further studies also for them. And establishment, so for that many people whoever Badapati Hanumantrao and many other leaders were, even Muslim leaders, they were all fought for the religion and fought for the languages and fought for the religions, and they made a lot of agitations were made. And in that agitation, in the struggles, the main role played by the daily newspapers like Deccan Patrika and Telugu Patrika and other Muslim newspapers, Islam newspapers, these are all started and played a different role to aware the people to get rid of the this nizams. So how they made the paper, the newspapers played a very much role. Why? Because in those times we don't have such a social media how the present is. So the people are, if they wanted to be awakened only with the very good orators, good speeches, the people were influenced by the speeches, people influenced by the movements, people influenced by the daily newspapers and magazines and radio. These are only the media at that time powerfully worked, and in that particularly daily newspapers worked very much. And after that, establishment of Telugu medium schools and colleges. So people, because they stopped education up to 10th class only, they studied in Telugu medium, and there was no chance for going further studies, because in further studies they have to go in the Urdu medium only. So many people, they don't want to study in the Urdu medium, and it is very difficult also after 10th class. Up to 10th class, if they studied in Telugu medium, and after that Urdu medium means it will be much difficult. They face a lot of problems. So they stopped education there itself. Because of that was the one of the reason that literacy rate was nil before independence. There was a zero literacy rate in Hyderabad state. And so because of that, they started establishment of Telugu medium schools and colleges, and establishment of libraries and reading rooms, particularly for the people, those who wanted to aware what is going on in Hyderabad and how the Nizams were ruling, what is the exploitation going by the landlords and all. They learned by the libraries and reading rooms. And establishment of Arya Samaj. Arya Samaj, the founder is Swami Dayananda Saraswati. This Dayananda Saraswati also started many more colleges and universities with the Arya Samaj, with the moral values and Telugu people, whatever, the awakening of language and awakening of the people's ideas, and their ideology is to want to be independent. They want to be independent, and even Andhra Mahasabha, AMS, Andhra Janasangam, and started many more Kisan organizations against the British, against the Nizams and all. Like that, they started many more things to against the freedom, against the Nizam's rule. Okay, this is the mind mapping. You can easily identify what is going on and all. And finally, even after getting independence also, the Nizams, they did not accept for merger with India. Okay, they did not accept merger with India, with Union India, and all other kingdom, all other princely states were merged, but Hyderabad they did not accept by the Nizam rulers. And then Subhash Chandra Bose came and completely with the police action, they were merged with India, and they had given some private person. That means some pensions they wanted to give, that they given yearly pensions they given for them, that is called private persons. Private persons means individually every year for the Nizams they have given a lot of amount as a pension, because they merged with India. So this is the situation was happened, and further in the how they started all these things and how the Nizam rule was ended, these are all in the next class we can discuss. Children, thank you.